Alright guys, good early evening. A little late for a video. I know I usually don't post them this late, but I wasn't able to make a video addressing the injury report until just now. And I figured this was significant enough to where I wanted to at least address it. Because we got a playoff game this week. Like this who we have available, kind of a big deal. And this is our first actual practice of the week because obviously Tuesday was a walkthrough. So it's a little more informative than a walkthrough. So I definitely want to talk about this real briefly here. Not that much changed, and what changed I don't think is going to really affect anything. So we held steady at a pretty reasonably healthy level, right? And that does have some bad news. If you look at the DNPs, you can see the list got a little longer. I'm not really worried about that. What I am worried about is that Phil Haynes and DJ Dallas have now not practiced 2 days in a row, which tells me they may not be ready for Saturday's game. It, at this point, is probably a little bit of an uphill battle for both those guys. Maybe not DJ. It's possible that DJ's just resting because he's beat up, but he fully intends to play because he did play in that Rams game, but Phil Haynes did not. So at this point, I would say that Phil Haynes, the odds are against him, and that's unfortunate because as much as as much as Phil Haynes was a disappointment this year to me, I do think that having him around for when Gabe Jackson, just completely loses his ability to play football is valuable. So I don't know what we do there. Some people are saying Kurhan. I mean, maybe, but every time he plays guard, it turns into a pass blocking disaster. Good news is we might not be able to pass the ball anyway because of all the rain on Saturday. So who knows? That might be the solution here. But other than that, it was pretty similar to what we saw on Tuesday. Shelby Harris missed practice, but I have very little doubt that he's going to play. I think he's just a veteran who's resting. We also saw Xavier Crawford not practicing, but that's, he's not a huge contributor. We did see the addition of 2 names, or actually 3 names, to the DNP list, but I'm not really worried about any of them. Gabe Jackson, resting player. Al Woods, resting player. So those guys are clear. They're just taking a day off. Ken Walker also did not practice. And I think that has more to do with rest than anything else. Like, he's been on the injury report missing practices for weeks now, and he always plays. And lately, he's been playing really well. So I'm not really worried about any of that. What I am worried about is, like I said, Haynes and DJ. It's time to start wondering if those guys are going to be ready, especially Haynes. The rest, either I'm not really going to miss them that much, or I'm sure they're going to play. Noah Fant got bumped up to limited, so if you had any concerns about him missing this game, it's not going to happen. He's playing. He's going to play in this game, I think, for sure. Ryan Neal also limited, and this time it was an actual practice. So that's very encouraging. That tells me he's going to play. Maybe he won't be 100%, but he is going to play, and he's been probably our best overall defensive player this year. Like, I know that guys like Nwosu have done really good. I know that, Taylor came on strong. Brooks has all those tackles. Even Woolen, and, people love Woolen, I get it. Neal has been incredibly valuable to our pass defense and our run defense. So if you get him back for this game, I think that is a big deal, and it pushes the game potentially towards you a little bit. Not that that would make us a favorite or anything, not at all, not even close, but it helps move that needle just a little bit. So at this point, Ryan Neal looks good to go. And full participation, Bruce Irvin, but I never doubted he was going to play in this game anyway. And other than that, it's basically the same stuff. Lockett, Lucas, Lewis, Woolen. Again, there's no reason to believe these guys are in any real danger of missing the game right now. Maybe we'll learn something different tomorrow, but as of right now, if they're practicing, you got to believe they're playing. Especially, these guys who have become really important to this team. Like, this is 4 starters, and then you have Bruce Irvin, who does have an important reserve role. So, not bad. One other note I want to put out there about the injury report. Dwayne Eskridge is actually participating in practices again, but it's very unlikely he'll be ready for this game. His window has opened to return, but I don't think he's going to return this week. And honestly, we might have to make the Super Bowl for him to get back. And even if he did, he probably wouldn't play because he hasn't played in so long. So if you guys were wondering about that, he is actually getting back on the field and getting in reps. And also the other thing that kind of needs to be addressed here would be the Jamal Adams and Rashad Penny thing. Again, if it was happening, because I know Jamal Adams posted something on his Instagram yesterday, and Quandre Diggs replied to it saying, like, it's going to be like a movie, and some people were wondering, does this mean Jamal Adams is coming back this weekend for this game? I find it hard to believe that he would just go from not practicing to just coming out of nowhere, like coming out of the rafters to play in a playoff game when he hasn't played since week 1. So I don't see that happening. Penny, I mean, if DJ Dallas can't play, we could use him. But again, I just don't think players come out of nowhere like this. We'd be hearing like, oh, these guys are on the practice fields. These guys are getting in reps. These guys are working towards being able to play. We're not hearing that. So I seriously doubt we'll see them at least for this game. Okay. Now, real quick, the 49ers side of things, it's very similar. If anything, it's just a little bit cleaner. Garoppolo and Ambry Thomas not practicing. Both guys likely to miss this game. But again, Garoppolo is not even their... He might be their third best quarterback. He might be their third best quarterback, so whatever. And we have a slew of players, some of whom are actually important, limited, but I don't think that means that much. Like, they're all going to play. Maybe they'll be less than 100%, but who's 100% right now in the, first round of the playoffs? Only people who are 100% are the people who barely played. You got Armstead, Aridin Banks. Those guys are both starters. Dre Greenlaw's an important part of their defense. Kinlaw plays some. I'm not going to say like he's one of their most important players, but he does play. And CMC. Important players, but I don't see any scenario where any of these guys misses the game. If you're limited in practice, that tells me you're probably going to play, especially in an important game, a playoff game. So the Niners, they're clean, man. They're about as healthy as they've been all year. It feels like they've got Jason Verrett's on IR, right? But he was always going to go on IR. Sad to say, tremendous talent, but cannot stay on the field. So that doesn't really change anything. We all kind of knew he wasn't going to make it to the end of the year at least. So yeah, we're going to need all our soldiers to even make this a game because the Niners got pretty much all of theirs. It's a pretty sweet situation over there in terms of their health. So yeah, that's your injury report update for Wednesday. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow we should get a pretty good idea of who plays and who doesn't. But the big positive news right now for Seahawks fans, Ryan Neal looks like he's in the clear to play. And that gives us some more flexibility on this defense. That gives us some higher quality pieces on this defense. So at the very least, you're going to go into this game feeling a little bit better about where you are. I'm going to go live on Twitch pretty soon here. I might already be live by the time you see this video. So I hope to see you guys over there. We're doing more Breath of the Wild tonight. We're actually probably going to do a lot of Breath of the Wild if I have my way. So hop on over there. We're going to do the third Legendary Beast. And then we might start pushing for the Master Sword. Catch y'all later. Go Hawks.